don't need to know about being saved. I've been saved. I don't need to know about being filled with the Holy Ghost, honey. I've walked in it for the last 12 years. It takes a lot to feed me.
Flipping through the pages of Sam Kinison's last days is a hard story to look at. Someone that brought so much joy and happiness. He inspired so many people that now have fame and fortune. But Sam literally drove himself into death. He lived 2 lives, one in Oklahoma where they knew him in a small town where he was just a son, a brother, and the other in Hollywood where he was the loud Sam Kinison, who was known to be the wildest one in the moment. Sam Kinison and his new wife were in a head-on collision that took Sam's life and injured his wife in the middle of the desert on April 10th, 1992. Sam died in the middle of his life. It's a very sad ending to a big story and a big life. This is the moment we lost Sam. When we find Sam, it's 1992. He's in love with a new, beautiful wife. He's still famous, very well known. His career's died down a little bit from what it was in the 80s, but he's picking up the pieces of what the new one looks like. The year before, Sam released a new special with HBO. He also had an intimate conversation with Larry King, where you do see a different side of Sam. But there's something Sam's dragging with him. Sam's drug addiction. It's getting worse. His health is right behind it. When you look at Sam as a person, you find a guy who had a chance in life and took it. Not like most people. There's moments that Sam kept with him. Major life events that we know he thought of often. Sam comes from a family of preachers and spends much time in ministry growing up. He marries very young, but with a young marriage, preaching, and Sam not being one to beg and ask for money from his congregation. Sam simply says the only thing he does like about his life is making people laugh while he's on the pulpit. But by 1978, Sam's living in Austin, Texas, and starts to workshop his material in a little club nearby his house. And in 1980, Sam finally has a divorce, moves to Hollywood, and really starts to build his act out and who he is as Sam Kinison, and capturing people's attention with his comedy about just real life, marriage, religion. By 1982, he's discovered. For most of the 80s, Sam has a very big career, although when the 80s are slipping away and we find ourselves in the 90s, Sam's life is getting harder and seems to be affected by criticism that Sam is taking on. It's known and said that Sam is spending far too much time around parties that have women, drugs, and musicians, focusing more on his own music and putting comedy a little to the side. Although Sam's last year alive, he starts to clean up and really change his ways and focus on his career and his future more. Sam's last week alive, it's really the start of Sam's new life. He has movie deals in the making, playing clubs, putting together a new act. Sam has also been clean for a little time now, trying to get his career back on track and trying to stay sober. And on April 4th of 1992, Sam becomes a husband once again. Sam has a big wedding that fits his taste and his look. The wedding ceremony is at a candlelight chapel in Las Vegas. Sam and his wife will have their first photos taken of them being newlyweds, but also their last photos together as well. Right after their wedding, Sam and his new wife would fly to Hawaii to have a honeymoon. They would be there for almost a week together, enjoying their marriage, enjoying their time, enjoying the ocean breeze on their face, simply thinking about their future and what was to come. But as Sam and his new wife return to LA from their honeymoon, they have just hours to live, and if their plane was delayed, they had missed it, any kind of random occurrence, Sam would probably still be alive today. But as he's racing to get to his show that night, he's also racing to get to his death. When Sam and his new wife of 6 days return home, Sam has a show that night at the Riverside Hotel Casino in Laughlin, Nevada. The show was sold out, and Sam was in a hurry to get to the hotel. Sam and his wife would leave California to drive to Nevada on April 10th, 1992. Sam is in a 1989 Pontiac Turbo Trans Am, white. It's not a short trip, but Sam is with his new wife, maybe a little agitated that their honeymoon was cut short, now having to go back to work. As Sam is driving to Nevada, he also has a van behind him, carrying his brother, who is his manager, and Sam's friend and opening act, the late Carl LeBove, and Sam's personal assistant. After a long day, and now driving for a few hours, the sun is setting, visibility is getting a little harder, and just 30 miles from the stage, Sam was supposed to make people laugh for the next 2 nights. Something terrible is about to happen. On a 2-lane road, a little after 8 p.m., there are 2 young men are headed the opposite way towards Sam's direction. They had been drinking and highly intoxicated. It's said that Sam even slowed down dramatically to almost 15 miles an hour when he could see the truck up ahead of him swerving in the 2-lane road. But in just seconds of seeing the truck and trying to avoid danger, it was a 17-year-old boy that would drive his truck, made of pure metal, slamming right into Sam's life. Sam was not wearing a seatbelt, and this would be a fatal mistake. Sam slams his head into the front of the windshield, then flying back violently into the back of the car, but is still alive. Sam's wife is wearing her seatbelt to where she is kept safe from flying into the windshield, but not escaping broken bones and severe whiplash. The 17-year-old driver of the truck steps out, dazed and confused, with beer cans falling out of the truck from under his feet, and saying, "God, look at my truck," unaware he's just committed manslaughter. Sam's crew are now on top of the scene, running to his car, and along with other people passing by, and now calling 911 for help, to where ambulances will show up later. Sam pulled himself from the car, walking around, disoriented. Sam's crew, and his brother especially, begged Sam to lay down on the ground. Finally, with Sam having blood rushing to places where it shouldn't rush, and confused, with only minor cuts on his lips and his forehead, he sits on the road to where he starts to fall to the ground, and now lying on it. Sam would say, with what strength he had, "I don't want to die. I don't want to die." Carl LeBove, who was holding Sam's bleeding head and his hands, he was trying to talk to Sam, but Sam was looking straight up into the sky and talking what seemed like a conversation with someone. Sam will then say, "But why? Okay, okay, okay." And when Sam said the last okay, it was soft and a peaceful one. He simply closes his eyes and goes unconscious. Ambulances eventually arrive. They load up Sam, doing what they can to help him and resuscitate him. But Sam, even though he doesn't look that bad, he has massive internal damage in his body, and sadly, the wreck could not have happened in a worse area. Too far from help to arrive quickly, but Sam eventually arrives at the local hospital and is pronounced dead on arrival. Sam's crew that is with him refuses to believe that Sam has died, as they're told. They just saw him walking around, talking. He didn't even look that hurt, from what they were saying. But just like that, Sam was getting his life and career back on track, writing a new special, driving to a sold-out show with his new lovely bride and loved ones with him, and he's gone in a blink of an eye. It's one of those situations in life. Doesn't seem fair. He's still in the history books with the world of comedy, and has already inspired a generation of people a decade ago that have now inspired a new generation. There's no doubt that Sam is a grandfather of comedy, and that he'll always be remembered, bringing new tricks and talents to the art of comedy. Sam took a chance at life, and he won. He just didn't get to have it that long. Long live the memory of Sam Kinison.